When it comes to your memory, is it really possible to roll back the clock simply by identifying your number one memory obstacle? Well, here's the thing. When it comes to restoring and protecting your memory, there are basically three possible obstacles that can hold people back from reaching optimal memory function. And older adults tends to have one of the three obstacles, one primary deficiency, and it's the number one thing they should be addressing. That if they solved it, that if they fixed it, it would relieve the pressure in their lives, and they would be able to take their brain functions to the next level. The challenge is this. As we age, with so many of life's priorities competing against us, and if we're honest, it's no surprise that when you're having memory obstacles, sometimes it's painful even admitting there's a problem. Even if we admit it, it's tough having enough perspective to identify our number one memory obstacle. And it can be even tougher to figure out how to fix it. But here's the thing. That is what I do all day, every day. Hi, my name is Dr. Steve Klayman, and many people know me as the Memory Doc, because over the last 24 months, I've helped over 100,000 people in over 72 countries by helping them identify their number one memory obstacle, and then fixing it, and then taking their memory to the next level. So if you're having trouble remembering little things like names, numbers, birthdays, etc., if you're having trouble with big things like counting medications, driving, disorientation, etc., or if you just want to avoid memory problems in the future like senior moments or dementia, or maybe you're just not as sharp as you used to be and want to roll back the clock of memory loss, then this could be the most important video you ever have watched. And here's why. And there is a reason why. And the reason is because as you age, especially if you have memory challenges, it's more difficult to remember what the number one biggest obstacle in your memory to focus on first. And what that does as we age is it causes us to have this tendency to get stuck in whatever we're doing at that moment. But the thing is this, once you've identified what is your number one biggest memory challenge, it becomes as simple as fixing that and rolling back the clock. But the challenge is this. When it comes to identifying what your number one memory challenge is, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. But if you're like most people, you're probably wondering, who am I? And why should I pay attention to what I'm about to show you? The approach that most take when it comes to their memory problems are flat out destined to fail. I know that when it comes to identifying a person's number one memory obstacle, most people with memory challenges are too afraid to ask for help. Why do you think people are afraid to even ask? The reason they're afraid is twofold. The number one reason is because they're embarrassed. Because it's easier to keep faking it than to ask for help. And who would we even ask for help with our memory obstacle? You need the help of an expert. Think about it. Imagine if we went to the cardiologist and asked, "What do you think my number one memory obstacle is?" How useful do you think that cardiologist's answer would be? Not very useful at all. That's the first reason why people do that. The second reason is that they have this perception that the only way to identify what their number one memory obstacle is would be to take loads of memory tests, answering hundreds of pointless questions, and then even running loads of lab work and expensive brain scans. And maybe that sounds like a good idea, if you don't know what you're doing. Again, it's like going to the heart doctor and the doc asking you 70 questions that are barely related to your memory situation. Because they're fishing, versus the doctor, through years of experience, has figured out the three questions that really matter. See, what I've been doing over the last 5 to 10 years of my career is figuring out what those questions are. And it's a process that I go through with every single private patient who wishes to work with me. I ask them a series of questions about their memory obstacles, which help me identify in just 30 seconds what their number one biggest memory obstacle is and how to fix it. And up until this point, the only way to go through that process was to pay large fees to see me in a private patient arrangement. That is, until now. Because what I've done is I've taken that process that I use with patients behind closed doors, and I've developed a simple little analysis tool, a free tool online that asks those very same questions. So you can experience what it's like to figure out your number one memory obstacle and get yourself on a path to restoring and preserving your memory. Right here, right now. Now that my private practice has reached a certain level, I have a goal of helping a certain number of people, and the only way for me to do that is to expand outside my geographical area and my private practice and begin helping people online. And that's the reason why I've decided to make this tool available to anybody for free. Normally, this tool is only available as part of a paid treatment plan. Normally, the only way to get access to this diagnostic process is to pay me a visit in person to become one of my private clients. But as an experiment, I've decided to temporarily make it available for free to folks like you for a limited time, because I'm curious to know what your number one memory obstacle really is. So, here's what you need to do now. So, if you're interested, or even just curious, here's what I recommend. After you finish watching this video, scroll down, click on the big orange button, and then answer the easy questions that pop up. Once you answer those questions, enter your name and email, and on the other side, you'll get an instant video walking you through your number one memory obstacle. Plus, you'll get a 90-day game plan on how to fix it. The only catch is this. Because this tool is typically only something that I give out just to my private patients, I haven't decided how much longer I'll be making this assessment tool available for free. So here's what I recommend. Go ahead and do this now, while you're on this page and while you're thinking about it. Simply click on the button below, answer the questions that pop up, and I'll see you on the other side, with your number one memory obstacle identified, and how to fix it, minutes from this very moment.